inlaying process. This was a very fun project. This is me starting the inlay process for the lock mechanism. The process itself was pretty simple. This part right here is me showing exactly where the first stop was, and a lot of these videos have already been submitted, and I'm just taking snippets out of it previously, but this is me just chiseling slowly away. I think inlaying the lock was probably the best part of the whole process, because I was the most nervous about screwing it up, and so I took my time and it really came out well. I think what I probably learned the most from this entire process, and then here's me sanding the butt plate, but what I learned the most, filing down the butt plate rather, is what I learned is to take my time. I found myself rushing and not procrastinating, but Sunday was kind of the best day for me to do a project because of work and everything else. And I'd overlook the project and say, yeah, well, I could do that on Sunday. And of course, I just wanted to get done with it and get it done well, but I ended up kind of rushing a couple of aspects of the process. Right, and here's me inlaying the butt plate right here. Looks pretty good. This is obviously much faster, sped up. This was a very slow process. It was a little bit painstaking, but I learned a lot. I enjoyed using small chisels and taking away small bits of wood. This is me drilling the holes, or palleting the holes for the butt plate. And the toe plate, this next part, here's me laying it in the center, filing it slowly. I zipped out a lot of this video so that we could save time, but it came out great. Alright, now this is me inlaying the barrel, or inletting. I don't know if it's inletting or inlaying, whatever. The French say it one way, the Americans say another, and the Southerners say it completely different. But this is me inletting or inlaying the barrel. This took a long time. This process I probably did the poorest on. In hindsight, I didn't line everything up perfectly every time, and I wish I would have had a lot more time to work. Alright, the threads on the rear thimble were fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. I wish I would have known that the tap sent earlier in the course fit the front thimble, but it's fine. I adapted and overcame, but it would have been nice to have the right size tap system. But this thimble process was fun. I enjoyed it. I made a pretty bad mistake with the front thimble. I tried to countersink it. I didn't have a very good countersinking device, so I used a larger bit and jacked it up. There it is right there. So I had to re-drill, redo it, the whole thing. Now on to the thimbles, or not the thimbles, sorry, the tenons. They were very difficult. Actually getting them set in was not simple. I had to, I feel like, do extra work. I don't know what the problem was with these, but went through the process. I was so scared of messing this up. I did it really carefully. Here's a nose cap, putting that on. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Yeah, now begins the long filing process and the shaping of the buttstock. Start with inlaying the trigger mechanism. I already did this kind of a preliminary fit. It worked out pretty well, but it was really barely touching the lock, so I was taking it down quite a bit. It's kind of catching on the back, so I decided I was going to take it. This, I decided instead of taking out the wood of the trigger guard, around the trigger guard, I was going to file to fit the trigger guard. I don't know, I was just trying a different method just to see how it felt. And it actually was a little faster to me. And I didn't, of course, have to chisel out any wood. Here's me, of course, filing. This is using a rasp, taking down the butt stock. Using some 60 grit sandpaper. Now this is me, another day, filing down the rest of the stock, using a rasp across the rear part of the barrel attachment. This whole process was very long. I don't know how you could do this really quickly unless you had it really close to finish blank. But of course, at that point, I think just an avid gun shooter could probably put these together. But this was a long process. I'm really glad I got to do it, and I really enjoyed taking my time, going down to 220. I went all the way down to 320. It was so smooth that I didn't want to really even go down anymore. I was going to go down to like 400, but it was so smooth. I was like, this, I'm happy with it. So, took all the blemishes off. I couldn't even find any dents. Just kind of. All right, I'm doing a functions check. Lock works. Set trigger works. Kill, dim red codes. Lock, set trigger. Damn, look at that handsome look. He probably fought in the Revolutionary War. God bless him.